dominated the game. They did not play as we expect. That's keep the ball, move the ball. But they put a lot of pressure in the game. It shows that today they want to win at all costs. It doesn't matter what's the performance, but let them get the 3 points.
What's the intent from South Africa in the first 45 minutes?
Go out there and win it, and they are winning. And they did some good pressing. They played very well compared to the first game. And the goal they scored was a brilliant one from the centre-back, Siabonga. It's a striker's goal. You don't see that one being volleyed in by a centre-back that often. But it was a brilliant goal, and they have a good value for their first-half lead.
What we said, there will be goals.
Yes, there will be goals. And I'm sure we have not seen the end of the goals. I think where the problem lies for Angola is actually the trio of Mfela, Fala, and Rantil. They've been a real thorn in the flesh of the Angolan defense, and that's where the difference came. So as the game is going, South Africa needs to just take their chances. In football, you don't spawn chances like that because they never come again. They may never come again. So I think as it is right now, well, they're in pole position to go for the game and then go for the killer.
So I think it seems South Africa are on top. Looking at the first 45 minutes, they have been all over only Angolans. Do we see Angola coming back in the second half to adjust their game a bit?
Yes. If you look at their last game against Morocco, Morocco dominated the first half. But in the second half, they changed their formation and played with a double striker. Today, they are playing with only one, with 3 midfield players, 3 central midfield players, and 2 flank players. That's to say they're playing in a 4-5-1 formation, while South Africa are playing a 4-4-2 formation. And you expect them to change their formation because if they lose this game, they lose under immense pressure. And to qualify in this group, 5 points can make you qualify, and that will put pressure on them. So they need to adjust their formation. But they are not a bad side, because most of the players are made from their home-based players, about 15 of them. The rest are professionals scattered around Europe and so on. Apart from Monucho, there is no big name player for them. So they are young players with inexperience, but this is the opportunity for them to, readjust their formation and try and get a goal.
We have not seen much from Manucho. We talked about him before the first half, start of the first half, but he continues to be isolated up front today also, not getting those services he needs.
And they made a mess of it as well, playing him alone up front, making it very difficult for him to get a lot of support from the 3 midfielders around that box. They need to help him. He had one decent chance, he could have scored, but the goalkeeper made a fantastic save down there. But I think, Angola's main problem is their centre-back pairing. Dede and I think the other one, they find it very difficult to control, to pull the ball out of the defense, and that is seriously giving them a problem to lay a platform for them to, get to the attacking third. I think the coach needs to do a lot of tinkering around there and to help the team not to defend too deeply, because if they defend that deep, they put a lot of pressure on the goalkeeper. You saw when the cross came in, he could have punched the ball out, but he was jittery and he punched the ball, in field, giving the South Africans the chance to throw the ball inward again. I think they need to do some tinkering, otherwise the day will be very long for them.
Well, Mohamed, what I think is actually, if you have a striker like Manucho for Angola, who has got this aerial strength, the only thing that they need to do is just to send the ball in for him. Look at the first 45 minutes. There is only one time that they send the ball. They lob the ball inside the box for Manucho, and he headed it to Alfonso, and he put it over the bar. I think if they would do that to South Africa, because South Africa enjoys more of these tic-tac football and all that, and they are short guys. You just put the ball up in the air for Manucho, and then I'm sure they can capitalize on something. And there is a little bit history between these two nations, because they met 3 times in the Cup of Nations, drawing twice and South Africa winning 1. So as I've seen, and the goals have been very, very few. They only got 2 goals in those 3 games. So here we might see the end of the goals also, because looking at those records. But I still think that Angola can have a chance to come back if they can correct the mistakes that they actually did in the first.
But for them to do that, they must have to have the ball.
Yes.
They are not making use of the ball. They are not getting the ball. South Africa are getting most of the balls. And the movement of their 2 strikers and 2 flank players is creating problem for them.
So do we see an instant change in formation from the Angolan side just after the restart?
I think if you look at the last game, that's what the coach did. He just brought in the other tall striker, very strong, just like Manucho. You know, then you have two tall strikers that will give problem to the South African defenders. But on the other hand, they have to be careful too, because South Africa, the way they are playing, they are not keeping the ball, keeping possession, moving the ball as we expect them to do. What they are doing is they are allowing their strikers to split, and they use the channels to play the ball. So you have a lot of movement behind the defense. And the strikers are struggling to score a goal, and the central defender come and score a goal.
Angola can come into this game, but the problem is you are playing one striker, and you cannot manage anything. You have 5 midfielders, but they still cannot contain the South Africans. So if you open up, it might lead to something else also.
Lobbing the ball to Manucho wouldn't be a solution here. They need to keep the ball and play. Manucho cannot control the ball himself alone up front there. Lobbing the ball will put more pressure on the team as well, because if they lose the ball, South Africa breaks too quickly with the ball.
Too fast.
And that will definitely give the team. I think what they need to do, keep the ball down, allow the team to play with the lone striker, and that will help them, you know, put a lot of pressure on the South African defense. And then you want to ask questions to the defense, whether they will be able to cope with the ways the Angolan team want to play. Otherwise, they will find it very difficult to get themselves into the game.
South Africa might be happy with how things are as of now, but they still have some exciting talents on the bench. You have Majoro on the bench, you have Sabalala on the bench, and also you have Serrero on the bench, one of their creative players from Ajax Amsterdam. Do we see the coach bringing them at one point in the game, the bolster the attack?
Yes, he will need to do that, but as of now, I think the coach will be content with the performance, because what they were crying for is to get a goal. They have a goal. What they were crying for is to create chances. They have created 1 or 2 chances. Apart from that, they are playing well.
All right, we'll be going for the second 45 minutes, but quickly, your predictions in the second half. Pamara?
Well, Angola might pop in with a goal. A draw still.
We see
for the good of the tournament, I think we want South Africa to win this game, so that the interest and the attendance will increase.
I'm afraid Angola are in for a long 45 minutes. They're losing this one.
Well, this live broadcast is being brought to you by Grts in collaboration with AFNEX LC2 and our partners RLG, Proudly Yours, and Gamcel, the Yaibrom, providers of the Yaibrom services. We'll be back after the second 45 minutes from the Modiba Moses